Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah, and for today's video I'll be doing a quick book review on The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw. This is a book that just recently came out about a month ago. It was the very beginning of March, and once I knew the premise of this book, I had to have it. This book is about three sisters. They are the Swan sisters that came to the small town of Sparrow, Oregon back in the early 1800s, and they were only there for about a year before the townspeople killed them for witchcraft. And how they did that was they tied stones to their feet and dropped them into the harbor that the town lives off of, and unknowingly, by them doing that, they placed a curse on their own town. So now every summer after that, for a 3-week period, the sisters do come back. They inhabit and possess the bodies of young innocent girls, and to enact their revenge on this town that murdered them, they will lure boys into the waters and drown them just like they were drowned. I really do love any story that has to do with witches or witchcraft. I find them so fascinating, and it speaks to my Halloween soul. This was a very quick and easy read. I finished it, I think, in 2 days, and the only reason why it took me 2 days and not one was because I had to work. But it is a very quick read. It's just a little over 300 pages. It's really not that small of text, so it's not a hard book to get through at all. If you like practical magic and hocus pocus, I really do think that you will enjoy this book. It does get a little bit darker than those two stories, but such a fun read. I will say that there is, I want to call it a twist a little more than halfway through the story, because I did not see it coming whatsoever. It caught me totally by surprise. I don't want to say what that is because I don't want to ruin it for anyone else who is thinking about reading this, but just completely caught me by surprise, and I was shocked that I didn't see it coming, and I don't know, just kind of maybe disappointed in myself for not seeing it. But amazing story. So we follow the life of a young girl named Penny. She actually lives on an island just off the coast of Sparrow with her mother, and so whenever she wants to go into town, she has to take a boat. And she feels kind of stuck in this town because 3 years ago her father disappeared without a trace, and ever since then her mother went kind of crazy, and so now she feels responsible for her mother, doesn't want to leave her alone. And everyone seems to know about the curse on this town. It attracts a lot of tourism, people coming during this 3-week period in the summer to see the drownings happen and try to take pictures of it, which is very kind of morbid. But of course, acts like that do bring crowds, so it's not surprising that something like this would attract tourism. But because of that, our character Penny is very mistrustful of outsiders and visitors, and she meets this boy named Bo, who is an outsider. She doesn't quite know what to think of him. He doesn't really give a lot of information about himself, why he's really there. He claims he does not know about this curse. She's not sure if she really believes him or not. So it turns out that both Bo and Penny have these big secrets that they are keeping from each other. Of course, they do come out relatively quickly in the book, I might add. This book takes place during the 3-week period called the Swan season, where the sisters do come back and all these drownings occur. So none of the young girls are really safe in the town. Everyone can be accused of being one of the witches, because there really is no way to prove which bodies the witches inhabit. So it's kind of like a little mystery. No one knows who they are, but everyone has their suspicions. One thing that I really do enjoy about this book is even though we are taking place in present day, it does periodically flash back to the early 1800s when the Swan sisters are living in that town, and gives a little bit of their backstory, which I really like. I've mentioned before, I love historical time period pieces. So to have those little flashbacks back to the early 1800s was a really cool addition to this that I feel like gave us more insight into the minds of those sisters and kind of helped us determine, like, well, do we really think that they were actually witches? Was their death justified, or is their vengeance justified that they are bringing to this town year after year, drowning multiple boys a summer? If you are a fan of books that have witches, witchcraft, anything like that, kind of supernatural aspect to it, I highly recommend this book. Like I said earlier, it is a very quick read. It won't take you long at all. It does have that awesome twist in the middle of it that I still cannot get over the fact that I did not see that coming. But also, I really enjoyed the ending of this book. I feel like a lot of times with books, especially in the YA genre, there are a lot of the stereotypical happy endings, where, you know, the boy and the girl beat all the odds and they're together, everything is perfectly fine and whatnot. That's not exactly the case with this book, and that's not to say that it has a depressing ending and that there's no happiness at all, but it does end in a very bittersweet way, which I really do enjoy. I feel like it's more realistic. I mean, not that books about witches are totally realistic, but you know what I mean. But it has that bittersweet feeling, and I loved that about this book. I also really like that this is a standalone novel. I feel like so many of the books coming out are parts of series, and you know, you get that first book and you just committed yourself to years and years of waiting for the next books to come out. That's not the case with this one. This is just a standalone book. The story does definitely end by the end of the book. I don't really think there's a way for them to bring it on further. However, I would love to see more books from this author, Shea Ernshaw. I believe this was her debut novel, so I'm very excited to see what else that she has in store for us. If this book is any telling of her future work to come, we are in for a very, very good treat, and I'm very excited for it. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do read this book, or if you've already read it, please leave your comments on it down below. I would love to see what you think of it. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.